friends and family for getting me through high school.
I'd like to thank my family, my friends, all my teachers, counselors, dogs.
class of 2018, and guests, please be seated.
Banner.
Good morning. At this time, I would like to invite the Student Government President, Taylor Gilbert, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the Striking Cobra Band under the direction of Mr. Patrick Duncan, who will play the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and remain standing for the pledge and the national anthem? Gentlemen, will you please remove your caps?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. It is now my honor and a great privilege to introduce to you our platform guests. First, we have Mrs. Karen Brill, School Board Member, District 3. Dr. Donald E. Fenoy II, Superintendent of Palm Beach County Schools. Dr. Gonzalo LaCava, Chief of Human Resources. Dr. Eddie Ruiz, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, Equity and Access. Mrs. Diana Fetterman, Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. Dr. Ian Salzman, South Region Superintendent. Dr. Glenda Sheffield, South Region Instructional Superintendent, Secondary. Mrs. Maria Bishop, South Region Instructional Superintendent, Elementary. Also on stage, we have Mr. Jeff Silverman, Principal, Crystal McCullough Middle School. Dr. Enrico Vella, Principal, Woodlands Middle School. Mrs. Bobby Moretto, Principal, Coral Reef Elementary School. Mrs. Diane Curcio Greaves, Principal, Crystal Lakes Elementary School. Mrs. Sarah Myers, Principal, Hidden Oaks K-8 School. Mrs. Mary Churchill Jones, Principal, Manatee Elementary School. Also assisting with today's ceremony on stage, we have Mr. Reggie Lanier, Assistant Principal. Mr. Rick DeWalt, School Counselor Coordinator. Mr. Pete Torini, School Counselor. Mrs. Mary Turner, School Counselor. We also have Ms. Jamie Aranda and Ms. Kate Robinson. They're interpreters for our Deaf and Hard of Hearing program, and they will be signing our ceremony today. I would like to take this opportunity to thank some very special people who have come to celebrate this occasion. First, I'd like to thank the parents and families of our graduates. Parents, thanks for supporting your children throughout their school
years, and especially these past 4 years of high school. Without that support, some of them would not be here today to receive their diplomas. I'd also like to ask our faculty to rise. Please help me thank these special people who have been so instrumental in developing the minds of our graduates. And it is because of their high expectations which have been the catalyst for this outstanding achievement of this particular senior class. And finally, as always, I personally like to take this opportunity to thank my family for their continued support. Dr. Donald E. Fenoy II is the 26th Superintendent of Schools for the School District of Palm Beach County. The district is the 11th largest district in the country with a student enrollment of more than 193,000 students. Prior to his appointment as Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Fenoy served as the district's Chief Operating Officer. He graduated from Florida A&M University with a degree in elementary education. He went on to earn a master's degree in educational leadership and a doctorate in educational leadership and administration from the University of Central Florida. He and his wife, Kendra, are proud parents of 2 beautiful children. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite to the podium Dr. Donald E. Fenoy II, the Superintendent of Palm Beach County Schools. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, let's try that again. Good morning. This is a great day to be alive. To the class of 2018, when I say that I am humbled and honored to be standing before you, because when I think about the reality of life, we need you, and you will be the ones that will be leading us into the future. Parents, teachers, and guests, I'd like to thank you for your personal investment in the students walking across the stage today. No one truly accomplishes anything that is worth accomplishing alone. So students, before this day is over, I hope that you take a moment, and I mean many moments, to thank those that helped you get here today. The spirit of gratitude is a gift that my mother taught me early in life. To this day, even yesterday morning, she called to remind me that since she gave birth to me, I literally owe her my life. I know there are many mothers in this room that share those exact same sentiments. Saying thank you is an acknowledgement that someone has made your life better for just a moment or for forever, not because they had to, but because they could. Saying thank you is the phrase that acknowledges the very tenet of our humanity, that we need one another. My mother taught me that I should say thank you frequently and often, and more today than I did the day before. The same is true for a very small phrase, I'm sorry. You should always be eager to right a wrong, especially if you can do it with just 2 simple words, I'm sorry. Misunderstandings and hard feelings can easily become oceans that unnecessarily divide us. You're entering adulthood in extraordinarily complex times. I have high hopes that your generation pens the next chapter that brings us closer together despite our many differences. I am the proud son of a man who spent 22 years serving in the U.S. Armed Forces. Thank you. When I graduated from high school in 1994, my father retired from the U.S. military and he joined a program called Troops to Teachers. He then spent another 20 years teaching 3rd grade. There's something fascinating about growing up in a military household. My father was a man of very few words. He tended to communicate in other ways with a hard-headed son. But 2 gifts that I remember my father giving me. When we were stationed overseas, when I was in the 1st grade, he gave me a Mickey Mouse alarm clock. During that time in the early 80s, there was a phrase that was being tossed around called a latchkey kid. My mother had to work, my father was an enlisted man, he had to work and was often deployed. So that alarm clock was what I used to get up to go to school beginning in the 1st grade. When I graduated in 1994, he gave me another alarm clock. At that time, his phrase to me was, son, you're 18, June 8th, 1994. There will only ever be one man to live in my home. Take this alarm clock and go on and be prosperous. So, I say to the graduates, don't go too long these next few days without setting your alarm clock. You're here today because, like it or not, you got out of bed every single day. My father taught me that getting out of bed with purpose is the most common denominator in achieving your goals and every goal that follows. So again, I empathize with you, class of 2018. Celebrate this moment, take a few days off, but you need to get back to setting your alarm clock. On behalf of the School Board of Palm Beach County, our board members, and the 27,000+ employees that had a small part in you being here today, we love you and congratulations to the class of 2018.
Thank you, Dr. Fenoy. The class of 2018 salutatorian is Tiffany Blue. Talented, highly motivated, and hardworking. These are just a few of the words that come to mind when describing this awesome young lady. She has excelled in every academic endeavor and challenge presented to her. However, what has impressed me the most is her engagement within her community through numerous causes, including being a youth leader in her church, a volunteer in our school supporting students with disabilities, her dedication in leadership positions within student government, as well as HOSA. Tiffany was a varsity cheerleader for 4 years, vice president of the Spanish Honor Society, a member of the Science National Mu Alpha Theta Honor Societies, and the Think Pink Club. Her community service hours totaled 300, and she was Park Vista's nominee in the category of literature for the most recent Pathfinder Scholarship competition. Tiffany has achieved a Val-Sal grade point rank of 5.3620. Yeah. I'm also happy to say that Tiffany will be taking her academic talents to the University of Florida this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2018 salutatorian, Tiffany Blue.
Good morning. Welcome, administration, teachers, parents, and students of the class of 2018. I address this speech to my classmates, as this ceremony is intended to celebrate our success today as we look forward to our futures. Today, I will share with you 2 observations that I've made in high school with the hopes that you can learn from my experiences too. The first critical lesson I've learned is that there is no timeline for success in life. Some of you may expect to be walking across another stage 4 years from now with a college degree in your hand. And you may also expect to be making 6 figures 8 years from now at some fancy company, and to be settling down 10 years from now, married with kids. But I want to tell you that it is okay to deviate from what we all conceive to be the master timeline for success. Some of us sitting here today will go on to be doctors, lawyers, or engineers. Some of us will enter the armed forces. Others will pursue vocational school or join the workforce immediately. And some of us sitting here will enter the next stage of life with one idea of whom we will become, only to change our minds in 12 years to take up culinary school because rocket science just didn't work out. My point being, no matter what path we take, we are all on our own timelines. The person sitting next to you today may be happily married in 5 years while you are still trying to figure out what to major in. But we all can and will prosper in due time according to our own clocks. We are the next generation of citizens heading into the world, and if we work hard, we can each find happiness and make a positive contribution to our society. The second observation I've made is that many people view our world through a negative lens. In the wake of current events, our society has grown divided. It is my hope that our graduating class can set the example for other students, children, and even our elders for how to work together to reinstate good moral values. I believe that if we each go out into the world with a solid foundation of kindness, respect, and determination, we can prove that anything can be accomplished when you're kind-hearted and driven to succeed. Beginning here today, one by one, we can each change our outlooks until others start to see the world positively too. Thank you for your time, and congratulations, class of 2018, because finally we made it here. But remember, this is only the start to the rest of our lives.
The class of 2018 valedictorian is Shannon Chamberlain. Shannon possesses a spirited passion to succeed. She is one of the most remarkable students to have ever attended Paul Vista Community High School. Among her contributions to our school are her years of dedication and leadership as president of the National Honor Society, president of the Chemistry Club, a member of the Spanish, Science, English, and Math Honor Societies. As an ACE diploma recipient and AP scholar, both with distinction, Shannon has demonstrated her commitment to both academic excellence and her commitment to enhance our school environment as well as our student body. She participated on the varsity bowling team, and her community service hours totaled 247. Shannon was Paul Vista's nominee in the category of academic excellence for the most recent Pathfinder Scholarship competition. She has achieved a Val Sal grade point rank of